when I came here, I didn't know anyone, and I didn't attend with anyone. I came alone, but I still felt that connection.
So we're back, part 2 of St. Teresa's renewed series here with Julia Desiderio, who was recently received into the Catholic Church. In part 1, we talked a little bit about how Julia got here, but here is an important place too. St. Teresa Catholic Church, whose RCIA program brought Julia to be the woman of God that she is, and someone whom you, who are watching this, might very well get to know through your time on our campus. So I want to ask, why the St. Teresa RCIA process? And why do it at the time you did?
I knew about St. Teresa, but I never attended, not really. And then I started attending church, and I really felt like I was drawn to St. Teresa a lot. And so I decided to inquire about the RCIA program, and it was really because I've been wanting to complete my sacraments. And I met Ginger, and she was, she had informed me about the RCIA program, really to know me on a one-on-one basis. And I felt really really connected to her and really connected to the program. I said, this is exactly where, we had a good conversation. I felt like that's where I wanted to start my, or continue my journey in the Catholic faith. And it's something I've been wanting to do. I think God was saying, this is where I want you to be right now, regardless of anything going on. And it was at the time that I was studying for the CPA exam. And I could have put it on pause, because the CPA exam was, a hectic time. But I said, I have to do it. I don't know why, but I have to do it right now. And I really felt like it was God's timing. And I felt like it was perfect timing, really.
So the imperfect becomes the perfect in God's hands. It's like, I don't have time for this right now.
Yeah.
But then God intervenes, and it's like, wow, how could I not have had time for this?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Ginger made time for you. She made time for me when she was my colleague.
Yeah.
She's someone who I greatly miss. I know that we talked about your feelings when you heard that she had died just a couple of weeks after you were received into the church.
Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Ginger, how was that first meeting? I mean, what did she do that really drew you in?
I think she took the time to really get to know me and to know where I was in my, in my life at that moment. And we had a really good heart-to-heart. And I think it was because I had a lot going on at that time. And for me, it was easy to conversate with her. And I think it was because she was so easy to approach, and she really tried to draw things out of you without, being aggressive or anything like that. I think she just really wanted to know people when she met them and really understand where they're at in their Catholic faith or in their life.
Where were you at that time?
Wow. So I felt like my anxiety levels were really high at that moment. And I felt almost lost, I would say. I didn't have my Catholic faith as I do now. I felt like I wasn't praying enough. I wasn't trusting God enough. I wasn't really trying to make that sort of connection and really just kind of let go and let God that I felt like I needed to do. And for me, even, the RCIA program really, really helped me with that. It's incredible. It's incredible.
So you would meet on Sundays?
Yeah.
After a certain point in the 10 a.m. Mass, you'd be dismissed, go into the room.
Yeah.
What was it like when you would go in there with your fellow RCIAers?
Yeah.
And, yeah, go ahead.
It was wonderful. It was always loved coming, for starters. and it was very unique because a lot of people, we would interpret things very differently, and it was okay. It's okay to like interpret something very different. And we were encouraged to do so, and we wouldn't judge someone for their opinions, and it was very open, and we were all trying to include everyone. And I felt that was really great. And, others would bring things in that we didn't even think about. I thought that was wonderful.
The St. Teresa legacy of all are welcome is clearly on display as you all sorted through the gospel reading. And I imagine people were coming from very different places and had very real, serious, legitimate objections to some of the things that were being discussed, some of the readings that for that Sunday, because that was what you would discuss, right? So you get in the room, I assume it was the Red Room, it was not far from the church, and you would talk about the readings for that Sunday, right?
Yes. And we had really great mentors as well. The community came to help us and guide us as well, and I'm grateful for that.
Any names that come to mind? Anyone who really helped you out in your journey?
Yes. Well, I really loved my sponsor, Mariela, and everyone knew her. I felt like, when I met her, I was really drawn to her immediately. And her story and her just sharing her Catholic faith and being proud of it and happy for really, really drew me to her. And I had a lot of people tell me, like, they really have been changed by her. And I think that is beautiful. And I think seeing her grow, and I'm growing with her, I feel like I needed someone that I can relate to, rely on. And she was a great part of that as well. And as well as Ginger, I would say.
That human component makes the faith incarnate, right? It's not just like Jesus Christ who ascended and he's not bodily here. It's like Mariella Lewis who's accompanying you through the process.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Okay, so I have a question here, which we're asking people we interview in this way, about St. Teresa accompanying you through the pandemic, helping you to maintain, or in this case, to grow in the faith that you received through your Eucharist and your confirmation. So as the pandemic started, and then as it set in and continues through our mask-wearing interview, how has St. Teresa, who from St. Teresa has really helped you in that human way to maintain your faith in a difficult time?
I feel, I think Mariela did too. Even though we're not in constant, texting every day, I felt that there were things that she would mention that I felt really strong about, and they were very powerful words. At this time, when things are so uncertain, we do got to keep our faith, and we do have to just continue praying. And I think that's important, especially now more than ever. But also, we continue doing our RCIA program via Skype. And I felt excited and happy that they did want to continue even virtually. Mm-hmm. That I felt that was a great sort of positive energy that I think we all needed during this time. And even with this uncertainty, I felt very grateful and at peace. And I felt like it was still a wonderful experience, even virtually.
Okay, so let's do kind of a blitz session now about Deacon Larry and about St. Teresa. So, impressions of Deacon Larry, especially over Skype.
Oh, wonderful. If I can listen to him speak, all day, I probably will, or would.
Yeah, what about him?
I think he's very knowledgeable and very sort of, he brings sort of the emotion and calmness with him. And that's, for me, it's something I can relate to. And he's very relatable, I would say.
Impressions of St. Theresa when you got here?
Well, I first started attending church at St. Teresa in the gym. And when I went in there, I felt like I immediately, when I think about St. Teresa, I have to think about Father Phil, because I did attend his masses, and when I would attend, I was so immediately drawn. And everyone I know loves Father Phil. Even people that I felt knew him for a little bit and maybe moved on to a different church still talk about him and still rave about him. And I feel he kind of resembles what St. Teresa stands for, that all are welcomed, because I feel that when you come here, he does make you feel very welcome. And I feel that sets the tone with St. Teresa, because when I came here, I didn't know anyone. And I think I knew maybe a few people that would attend here and there, but I didn't attend with anyone. I came alone, but I still felt that connection. And I knew it was a great church, and I knew it was, Father Phil was wonderful. I've attended a lot of Catholic churches, and I felt St. Teresa stands out a great deal.
Yeah, starts from the top. That's actually funny that you mentioned that, because my mom, we went to St. Lawrence growing up, and my family still do.
Oh, okay.
She remembered Father Phil from St. Lawrence. And
wow.
when a little even before I was looking for a job, I kind of had here and there I would see Father Phil, because she said, why don't you look up Father Phil? You're back in town. He used to be at St. Lawrence. Now he's over by you. So that's how I came here. And that's why we're here on set now.
Yes.
That's great. So
Awesome.
What do you wish more people knew about St. Teresa?
Oh, wow. I would say, for one, I don't know if everyone knows about the new church or the
Reopened
renovation. I think it's by far one of the most, I don't know if I can say this, but I'll be honest, it was by far one of the most beautiful churches I've seen in Houston. And I've been to a lot of churches. So I feel like, and it kind of has this sort of cathedral feeling, and when you're in here, you get a whole experience. And not only that, the people here are wonderful, and like you said, welcoming. They really are. And I wish they knew Father Phil as well. I feel they would have sort of this immediate connection with him. And as well, I really wish that people knew about the RCIA program. And, obviously I haven't done another RCIA program before, but I'm grateful that it was this one because of my experience. It was way more than I felt I was going into. And what I got out of it was way more.
So St. Teresa doesn't disappoint from start to finish.
Yes.
I think one of the things that we could name this segment would be the St. Teresa feeling. Like when you go, you get it. Get that great St. Teresa feeling. It's not to trivialize it, but that's kind of something that comes out. It's like you step in, even if it's the gym, Father Phil is electric, and the people really want to be there because it's a gym. They're not there for much else.
Right.
So that's wonderful. The Eucharist is here, the sacraments are here, and the ministers are compassionate and welcoming. That's lovely. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad to be here with you.
Oh, thank you. Same here.
Well, for that faith that I think will be the hallmark of your story and triumphing over anxiety, moving forward with your life, trusting in the plans God has for you. There's some wonderful passages in Jeremiah about the plans I have for you, for your welfare, to prosper you, to give you hope in a future, right?
Oh, yes.
You've taken those to heart. Okay, well, let's call it a wrap for parts 1 and 2 of this interview with Julia Desiderio, lovely woman who has given her time to be with us. Until next time, with St. Teresa's Renewed.
Bye. Thank you.
Please like, subscribe, or comment below.